Guys, let's head to La La Land, Los Angeles, where we find the next guy playing for the Los Angeles Chargers. That's Mike Williams. Kev, you've been notoriously down on Mike Williams this offseason, to have him all the way down at 37. I have him up at 24. Thought it was reasonable, but apparently not. So why is my back end wide receiver 2, top end wide receiver 3 status on Mike Williams unreasonable?
Because I think they continue to want to be a team that wants to run the ball first, pass the ball second. And I think that's a problem for Mike Williams. Now, there is a little bit more intrigue once the Keenan Allen injury happens, but it doesn't sound like it's anything serious. He'll be ready to go week one. A lot of people point to how many targets he scored or how many touchdowns he scored last year. He scored 10 touchdowns on an almost, unheard of target share. That number is definitely coming down. That's not going to happen again. I just don't think he takes as big of a step as people think that he's going to. I think he's a fine red zone target, but now we have Hunter Henry coming back, where they really had no tight end last year. They had Virgil Green, and 48-year-old Antonio Gates out there for most of the year. So I think Hunter Henry has a big impact on this offense, and I think that hurts him inside the red zone. So while I think that Mike Williams definitely will have usable weeks, I don't think that he's somebody, I have him just outside of a wide receiver 3. I think he's more of a flex option and somebody that I really wouldn't want to invest in where he's really going. There's going to be people that are going to overdraft him because of those 10 touchdowns. If I could get him, if he was going in the 7th, 8th round, I would be much more of a buyer. But considering where he's going, I just can't draft somebody who I feel like that doesn't have that significant of an upside, barring an injury. I think that's what it's going to take for him to really reach his ceiling. And so for that case, I would rather take a lot of other players that are going around him.
I did not realize this, but I actually have him positioned where his ADP is. He is the wide receiver 24 off the board. And that's where I have him ranked, wide receiver 24. When I look at the guys that are around him in my rankings here, just after him, I have Ridley, Robbie Anderson, Cooper Kupp, Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, Emmanuel Sanders. I think you could probably make a strong argument for Ridley and Anderson, but beyond that, I think I like the upside here of Mike Williams. I know the 10 touchdowns thing is probably not going to happen again, right? I mean, like you mentioned, Hunter Henry is back, so that takes away some of the red zone share for him. I just think this guy was the 7th overall pick 2 years ago, and I believe his rookie season he was injured most of the year, if I'm remembering that correctly. So he's going into his 3rd season here, and this is typically a big season for players, right? 3rd season is a big one, especially for tight ends, but the 3rd-year wide receiver has been a thing in the past, and I think Mike Williams has really good potential to kind of get a good share here. He had 66 targets and 43 catches last year, which was was reasonable. It wasn't anything that blew me away here, but I'm taking this guy as my 2nd receiver, probably my 3rd receiver in the 5th round-ish, late 4th, early 5th. I'm pretty comfortable with that right now. And, I kind of like his floor. I like his ability, and I like that he's playing with Phillip Rivers. That's all I got to say about that.
Agree to disagree.
I left Kev speechless. I wasn't sure what to do.